Review of the Pink Floyd album, A Momentary Lapse of Reason. It was released in 1987 and produced by Bob Ezrins and David Gilmour. So this album, I got it for Christmas some year. I don't remember what year. I got it in the Division Bell at the same time, I remember. This has always kind of been one of my least favorite Pink Floyd albums. So this is the first album without Roger Waters, and really this album's pretty much a David Gilmour solo album in a lot of ways. Like, he's really the only member of Pink Floyd that plays on every track. I'm not even sure how much Rick Wright's on here, because like I think from what I understand, by the time he even got back into the band, because he hadn't been in the band since The Wall at this point, and so when he, I think, came back into the band, like, most of the keyboard parts and stuff were already recorded from what I understand. Nick Mason decided that he was too out of practice to play on this album, so they have session drummers play him. So he mostly does like keyboard, or not keyboard, like tape effects and stuff like that, and like I don't know, I think it's his voice on a lot of the parts where there's a voice talking. So it's really just David Gilmour and like Bob Ezrin and a bunch of studio people. Tony Levin plays bass. I like Tony Levin's bass playing a lot, but like he doesn't play anything like what Roger would have played, or even what like Dave plays when he played bass for the band. So this album it really doesn't sound at all like a Pink Floyd album, because the drummers, like, they don't play the kind of stuff that Nick would have played. They play a little bit more like flashy things like that, and it has like the 80s sound on the drums. So this is really like very un-Pink Floyd sounding album, and that's especially like evident listening to them like doing one after the other in a row like I have been doing. This is like the first one that I've come to where I'm really just like, whoa, that's not really a great album. Into the songs of the album, which is I think kind of the real problem with the album, is the songs. The first one, Signs of Life, is kind of an instrumental that it really just like goes by, and I don't remember anything about it. Like, I've listened to this album quite a bit more than usual recently, and I still just can't really like pick out anything special about this instrumental. And it goes on for a while too, I think. Let's see, what's like 4 minutes, so yeah, it's just like not that memorable, and it goes on for like 4 minutes. The second song, Learning to Fly, this one I think was the big like radio single or whatever. That's, I guess, the one I've heard on the radio from this song, which I don't really listen to the radio. I never really have that much, but just kind of mainly being in other people's cars, I've heard it. So it was kind of the one song off this album that I always liked, but I've never really thought it was like a great Pink Floyd song or like one of their top level songs. I just think it's a pretty kind of like catchy song, and I don't know, it's not bad, but not one of their like best hits. The third song, Dogs of War, is one that I always thought kind of sucked. I don't know, Gilmour just can't do the angry thing on his own. Like, he needs Roger there to, I don't know, like write the lyrics for that and do that kind of thing. I think that he's great doing like the angry Roger songs. He's great singing on those. He's great playing guitar on those. But yeah, on his own, it just doesn't work. So the fourth song, One Slip, this song, it's the one that says the title, the Momentary Lapse of Reason. Really like 80s sounding on a lot of it. And another one, like, it's got some really cool bass, but like I said, doesn't sound anything like normal Pink Floyd like bass stuff. So it kind of, the whole song just doesn't sound like Pink Floyd really in some ways. But it's pretty cool, and kind of one that's grown on me, and I like it more than some of the others. The fifth song, On the Turning Away, another one that I like. It's kind of not like the best song either, but it's more memorable and catchy than some of the stuff on here, and it's got a pretty cool solo from Gilmour. Their Movie, the sixth song, is one that it's not like overly memorable. It's another song where I like some of the guitar playing on it, but it just kind of, like, the vocal parts of it I thought were kind of kind of boring. Like he just sings kind of the same thing like over and over again on that part. Like he does, there's nothing like interesting about it. The seventh song, well, there's this thing called Round and Round, which like I didn't even really notice while it was on. I guess it's like it's labeled as 6A on here, so it's like a half song or something, or like an instrumental. I didn't even really notice it. It just sounded like the end of yet another movie to me. The eighth song, A New Machine Part 1, another thing I've never really liked. It's got Gilmour singing through this weird like voice effect thing, and it just kind of doesn't really go anywhere, and there's a whole nother half where it comes in again, and it's like even shorter, and that doesn't go anywhere either, so like it's kind of just annoying. The ninth song, Terminal Frost, 6-minute instrumental, and like it's nice while it's on, but it's just also kind of forgettable. And then A New Machine Part 2, which like I said already mentioned before, is kind of not very great. And then finally, SAR, the closing track. This I thought I liked this more than what I do. Apparently, after listening, because I listened to it twice tonight. I listened to it on this, and then I actually listened to this version just to kind of get a remember what this album sounded like again compared to that one. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I like the guitar part in the beginning, and that kind of every time I hear that, I'm like, oh wow, this song, yeah, this is gonna be good, isn't it? And then it's like, nah. It's just kind of okay, like, but that beginning like guitar intro makes it sound like it's gonna be something really cool. I do think that there are some more like cool guitar parts on later, like the solo and stuff, but overall it's just not really that memorable of a song, which I think is like the problem with this album as a whole, is that it's just like, I don't know, Pink Floyd always had great songs, and this just kind of, I don't know, like I don't really get what Ezrins and Gilmour were going for, because it's like they kind of, like even if though Gilmour was in the band, it's like he kind of like missed what they were doing before, I feel like. I don't know, like it's like they tried to make a Pink Floyd album, but they kind of missed what makes a great Pink Floyd album, which is like the songs and stuff. Because I don't know, these songs just they're not that great, most of them, but it's not really that horrible, and I kind of find that when I listen to this version of it, I come away with a little bit better of a feeling than this one, but it's still probably one of their worst albums. But I mean, compared to some stuff, it's not horrible, but definitely not a great